Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're zooming in on a local service right here in Federal Way, Washington. It's called Rapid Haul Away.
That's right. We've been looking at their website, really digging into what they actually do.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're, maybe looking at that garage full of stuff, or you're managing a property, or maybe you're just curious about how to, efficiently get rid of things you don't want.
Then this should be pretty useful.
We hope so.
Yeah.
We're aiming to get a really clear picture of the services they offer, how they handle junk removal, and sort of what makes them stand out for folks here in Federal Way.
And one of the first things you notice on their site is how they kind of set themselves up. They're positioning themselves as the local option, not like the big national chains.
Right, suggesting maybe a more personal kind of service.
Could be. They ask, why do Federal Way residents choose Rapid Haul Away? And their answer is pretty direct.
Simple. We solve your clutter problems without creating new ones. Okay, I like the sound of that.
Me too. And then they list the new problems they don't create. No scheduling headaches, no surprise fees, no property damage.
Okay, so they're hitting on some common pain points there.
Uh-huh.
Scheduling can be a nightmare, and nobody likes hidden costs popping up.
Exactly. They seem focused on making it smooth. And their service area, it's pretty extensive. Covers Federal Way, obviously, but also a good bit of North Pierce County.
Yeah, I saw the list. They mentioned Bonney Lake, Prairie Ridge, Sumner, Puyallup.
Uh-huh. Summit, Waller, Midland, Fife, Milton, Edgewood.
Lakeland South, Tacoma, Parkland, Spanaway. So yeah, quite a wide net. If you're in that general zone, they're saying, we can help.
And getting in touch seems straightforward. They've got the phone number, 253-820-6311, right there.
And you can text that same number. They call it lightning fast quotes if you text.
Which is pretty smart, really. Fits how people communicate now. Quick text, get an idea of the cost.
Yeah, avoids a whole phone call if you just want a ballpark figure.
Yeah.
They also have an email, rapidhaulaway@gmail.com, and booking online gets you 10% off, apparently.
And they emphasize a fast and easy booking process. Multiple times. Seems to be a core promise.
Okay, so easy contact, wide service area.
Yeah.
But what do they actually haul away? The important part.
Right. Well, the short answer seems to be almost anything.
Huh. Yeah, the general categories are pretty broad.
Yeah.
Clutter, furniture, appliances, mattresses.
Hot tubs, construction debris, yard waste, and like you said, that useful catch-all, random odds and ends.
Which is good. You don't want to call one place for the couch and another for the old branches,
Definitely not. And they do break it down further into specific services, which is helpful. Junk removal is the umbrella, but then they list things like furniture removal.
Oh, yeah, and they use that classic example, the ancient recliner nobody sits in anymore.
We can all picture that one.
Totally. Then there's property cleanouts. Seems crucial for, estate situations or between tenants or just getting a house ready to sell.
And under their popular services, they list donation item pickups. That's interesting.
It is. It suggests they're thinking beyond just the landfill, maybe trying to divert usable stuff. Good for the community, good for waste reduction. A plus in King County.
Absolutely. And it signals a bit more responsibility. Then they mention hoarding cleanouts.
Right, listed separately and as popular. That takes a certain kind of approach, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sensitivity, experience.
For sure. It's not just standard junk removal. The fact they highlight it suggests they understand that.
And appliances. Always tricky. They have appliance removal, and they specifically mention recycling and proper disposal.
Which is key. You can't just toss a fridge out anymore. There are rules, environmental concerns.
You definitely need someone who knows how to handle that stuff properly. Peace of mind, really.
Precisely. And then something a bit different, demolition services.
Yeah, I saw that. Light demo, they specify. Sheds, fences, decks.
Detached garages, carports. But they dismantle and remove the debris. That's quite handy.
It really expands what they can do for you on a property project. Not just hauling, but the step before it sometimes.
Then there's debris removal itself. Think construction waste, stuff from renovations. Always more of that than you expect.
Oh, tell me about it. And very relevant today. TV removal and recycling, and general electronics recycling.
Yeah. E-waste is a huge issue. They talk about handling different TV types, responsible processing, even data security for electronics, important stuff.
Definitely. And living here in the Pacific Northwest, yard waste removal and cleanup makes a lot of sense. Branches, leaves, clippings.
Especially if you're doing landscaping, they mention coordinating with that. Makes sense to get it all hauled at once.
Okay, now for the really awkward stuff. Hot tubs.
Ah, yes. Hot tub removal. They mention the whole process. Disconnection, dismantling, hauling it away. even from tricky spots.
Anyone who's ever thought about getting rid of one knows that's a job you probably don't want to DIY.
Absolutely not. It's
Yeah.
a beast.
Yeah.
Then they circle back to some other common needs. Mattress removal and disposal.
Another bulky item that's a pain to transport and dispose of correctly with environmental rules involved.
Right. And they have services for big life events, too, like estate and foreclosure cleanouts, efficient, respectful clearing of whole properties.
And maybe more common for many of us, garage cleanouts. Reclaiming that space.
Yes. Getting rid of the old holiday decorations, the treadmill you used twice, the half-finished project stuff. Sound familiar?
Maybe a little too familiar. And finally, home cleanouts. They talk about a surgical approach for just problem spots or doing the whole place.
And they even note how a cleanout can impact how buyers see a house if you're selling. It's not just about junk, it's about presentation, value.
Makes sense. So, okay, that's a lot of different services they cover. What about the how, the process?
They lay it out as a pretty simple 3-step thing.
Step 1, text pictures of what needs to go.
Step 2, get an upfront price range, and they stress no hidden fees.
Step 3, their team shows up on time, does the job. Seems very streamlined.
That texting pictures part really cuts down on the initial back and forth, doesn't it?
It seems like it would. And that no hidden fees promise is big. They actually say, what we quote is what you pay. No funny business.
You have to appreciate that directness. Builds confidence.
So why them specifically? According to their site, anyway.
Well, they hit a few key points. Fast, flexible scheduling. They claim the best prices in the area.
Okay, bold claim. Always worth getting a couple of quotes right. But what else?
They emphasize being a local team, delivering results without, premium prices. Experience matters, they say, pointing to customer recommendations from Federal Way.
The local angle's often appealing. Supporting community businesses.
Yeah. And they mention they can scale handle just one big item or clear out an entire property. Flexibility.
And again, honest quotes, no sales pressure. Seems like a customer-focused vibe overall.
It does. And maybe just a little context about Federal Way itself.
Good idea. It's a pretty diverse city, King County. Population around 98,000, give or take. Making it, what, 9th largest in the state?
Sounds about right. And its history is interesting. Started as a logging spot named after Highway 99, U.S. Route 99.
Right. And only became an official city relatively recently in 1990.
Yeah, and it saw a lot of growth after 2000. That kind of growth often means people moving, renovating, generates demand for services like this.
Makes sense. And just to place it for people, it's got some well-known spots like the King County Aquatic Center.
The Weyerhaeuser one, yeah. And the Pacific Bonsai Museum, which is pretty unique.
Rhododendron Species Botanical Garden, Celebration Park. Wild Waves Theme Park is there too.
Right, so it's an active place, lots going on, a community where a reliable haul-away service would definitely be needed.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the main takeaway here?
I'd say Rapid Haul-Away presents itself as a comprehensive, locally run option for junk removal and cleanouts covering Federal Way and that North Pierce County area.
Yeah, with a real emphasis on making it easy text for a, quote, clear pricing local team.
Exactly. Convenience, transparency, and that local expertise seem to be their main selling points.
So for you listening, especially if you're in the Federal Way vicinity, hopefully this gives you a solid idea of what Rapid Haul-Away offers when you're tackling clutter or need a property cleared out. They seem positioned as a dependable choice nearby.
Definitely seems that way based on their site. And maybe a final thought to leave people with.
Go for it.
Think about your own space. Is there that one